So, what's up guys? I know it's been a while since my last vlog, but you can blame the other person on this channel. They said they were gonna put something up, so I was waiting for them, and then they never did, and I bugged them about it, and they're like, just go, just upload your next video, whatever. And I also know I said it was gonna be about K-pop, but it's not going to be. I can hear the collective sigh of relief as I tell you it's not going to be about K-pop. It's actually going to be about something you're probably going to find a lot more boring. What I actually want to talk about today is judging people based on their sexual activity, whether or not they have a lot of sex or they're not overly fond of having a lot of sex, if they are a slut or if they are a prude, and both men and women get judged on this. There is a little bit more of a double standard toward women, but I want to make it clear that both genders are judged on this, and this is a problem. We are judging people based on something that is none of our business, and that shouldn't have a stigma attached to it. Ooh, you have a lot of sex, you slut. Why is that a bad thing? Or, oh, you don't put out for your boyfriend, girlfriend, you prude. Why is that a bad thing? So because of the society we live in and judging people based on something that is none of our business, there's this movement that's been going on right now called the slut-shaming movement. It's usually, well yes, it's usually women, because on the slut side of things, women are usually judged more harshly about it. It's a movement about standing up against this kind of shaming, because really, if you don't like people who sleep around a lot, or you just don't like that they do sleep around a lot, then just don't sleep with them. I mean, it's none of your business. Why do you have to go out and be like, ew, slut? Why is that a bad thing that people like to have sex? Isn't it supposed to be enjoyable? I mean, so that's what it's about. It's about going out and, you know, hey, this isn't bad. Stop treating it as such. I think maybe the worst thing about slut shaming is that usually it comes from other women. Like, women get bagged on the most for being sluts. And it comes from other women. Like, we have a tendency, I don't want to say we, because I really try not to do it, and I've probably done it in the past, and now I look back and I'm like, gross, my past self was a jerk. But women will look at other women and be like, she is such a slut, what a little whore. And then a man might walk by without his shirt on and they'll be like, hot stuff. Love that. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I think it's maybe less on the slut side for the men, because if men see a guy without a shirt on, they'll be like, oh, douchebag. Like, the sexy part doesn't even, the sex part doesn't even come into it. Like, he's just a douchebag because he has his shirt off. I mean, at least they're judging him wrongly based on personality. I mean, if someone has a bad personality, then yeah, man, judge them. But if somebody has a lot of sex, I fail to see why that's bad and why society sees it as such a terrible thing. But there's more than just the, oh, you have a lot of sex, that's bad. I think the slut-shaming movement also comes into something that probably has to do with a little bit of rape culture, which is, for some reason, our society really likes to blame the victims of rape. Blame the victims of rape. For rape. The victims. What? What? And you may think, Kimmy, that's preposterous. Why would we blame the victims for anything? Well, it happens a lot. It's usually something along the lines of, oh, you shouldn't have worn that. You were asking for it. Oh, you shouldn't have been so drunk. Oh, why were you walking home alone that night? It's your fault. What? This is the most okay, it's just, I can't even fathom why people would say something like that. I mean, we don't blame people for their own muggings. Oh, you were wearing that nice watch. You were asking for it. We need to stop blaming the victims and blame the rapists. I think that is probably a good idea, and I don't know why it hasn't been like that from the start. As much as women should probably be upset that they get part of the blame for being raped, men should be very, very upset about this as well. Because when you put the blame on women, you also give them the responsibility to fix it. Like, they're the ones who need to change to stop themselves from getting raped. And when you do that, what you are saying, you're coming to the conclusion that men cannot do anything about it. That all men cannot stop rape. That if they rape, there's nothing they could have done about it. All men are rapists, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that is also very, very ridiculous. Not all men are animals, not all men are rapists. Men have self-control, they can control themselves. Rapists are sick in the head, and it is all their fault when a rape happens. And what's really sad about the whole blame thing is that because of this, a lot of rapists, I don't want to say men because not all men are rapists, a lot of rapists kind of get away with it. They get lenient sentencings and things because it was her fault, Your Honor. Her clothes provoked me. I should punch you in the face because your stupidity provoked me. And then I would also get away with it because it was your fault. But enough about that. I'm going to flip my lid in rage at this, but I need to get to the other side of the issue, which is the, not so much the slutty side, get out of here sluts, I'm done with you. It's the prudish side, it's people being judged for not putting out. Which is just as bad, guys. Come on, don't judge people for not wanting to put out. And I think maybe on this side, men get judged a little more harshly than they would on the slutty side, like, oh, you don't put out? Gay! No! No! That is wrong! Don't judge people for not wanting to put out! Okay? It's like, look guys, if someone doesn't want to have sex, they just don't want to have sex, and there's nothing bad or good about it, it's just what they want. Like, if I don't want to eat ice cream right now, I don't want to eat ice cream right now. There's nothing bad or good about it. I'm just not feeling ice cream right now. I mean, judging people for not wanting to have sex is bad because you're judging somebody on something that shouldn't matter at all. And also because when you do that, you're peer pressuring them into having sex, which is something they may not be ready for. And it doesn't matter if they've never had sex before or if they have, it's bad to pressure someone like that into having sex because somebody's body is a very important and personal thing, and when you have sex with someone, you're taking it all off, okay? And you're like putting yourself out there completely, and that can be a very traumatic thing, alright? You need to feel comfortable with someone before you go and do something like that. And for some people, it's easier for them to feel comfortable with that than others, aka sluts. And for some people, it's not easy for them to put themselves out there, aka prudes. And people shouldn't be judged on that. It's like it's easier for some people to give a speech in front of a class than it is than others. You know? Come on. Just let people do the deed when they're comfortable to do the deed. And then don't judge them on it. It's like, oh, they're comfortable, you go for it. And then, so all about, you know, pressuring people before they're ready. I think this is made clear a lot for women. You know, don't do it unless you want to do it. If your boyfriend or girlfriend is trying to get you to do it and you don't want to do it, tell them to shut up. But I don't think it's said enough for men, because men are just expected to want to have sex all the time, and maybe they don't want to? Perish the thought. Ladies, other men, I just want to let you know, a boner is not consent. As ridiculous as that sounds, just because a guy has a boner doesn't mean he wants to have sex with you. Do not pressure him into that. Do not see that as a sign that you could keep pressuring him into it. That is a physical reaction, and it has nothing to do to whether he mentally consents to it. As awkward as that was, I just wanted to make that clear. Okay? Okay. And now that I've made a funny face at you all, and I've gotten that off my chest, I guess this is where I end my video. If you watch the whole thing, wow, good for you. If you watch the whole thing and now you think, man, why do I know this girl? I'm not surprised. Bye-bye.